just did a sound check, and I got a new Bluetooth. Hopefully this will work better. I haven't done a lot of pruning. I know I promised some of you, a Christmas special. I was gonna cook and things, but well, I thought that would be a little awkward to have a live. Well, and I don't feel like talking. I really don't. I don't even know how to tell you the truth. I haven't had any help. Look, see all of these ones like here? These are what I would call suckers. So they're going to come off and make new plants. I'm going to make new plants out of all of the little suckers that are coming up. But I'm just really happy, really happy with the garden. I do want to tell you that one mistake, it's not a mistake, it's just kind of learning as you go, is that they started to suffer a deficiency I noticed in the leaves, and I asked one of my growers, and it was a lack of calcium. That's what you see on here. It's just the bone meal that I have put in. I have some other product coming. I'll show you when I apply it. And because I had better lights now, I had actually, well, they grow at like 4 to 5 times the rate they used to grow. So they require a little bit more than they did before. Let me get you over to my cilantro, so I'm really happy about that. I apologize for the light. I apologize for the fan. But all the rest of the fans are out. This has a little bone meal on it too. I just went ahead and got everything with a little bone meal. But look at that. That's the cilantro I planted. So it's doing really well. I don't have any complaints about it whatsoever. But let me see if I can smell it. Oh, yes, it has a lovely fragrance. So I'm really happy about my cilantro. It's like playing musical chairs here. I really do have a little chair here, look. It's a little folding chair I use for camping. So I can sit in here and do my stuff. But look, these are the onions I planted, and oops, I'm sorry. I did come along and put some more bone meal in there for them. And some of them I noticed, you know, they seem to be taking well. I'm trying to make sure I didn't plant them too deeply. And then of course I have the infamous little onion tops I keep putting in. Yeah, so let's see. Are they taking root? Well, it's hard to tell. Only time will tell. But I sure hope so, because that was a really fun experiment. But so far so good. They've been doing well. And those are those onions I made from just your common kitchen scraps. Now, remember Alice? Well, I moved Alice. Let me turn this fan off. Sorry. I moved Alice because the light that she was under, or he, however you want to look at it, it wasn't the right light. Yes, there is a difference. Some of these don't really need the bloom lights. And so this poor leaf right here, it suffered terribly because it reached. And it reached under the light and it got itself burnt. And it wasn't that burnt when I found it, but I've been waiting for it to die off because I'm not sure if it needed to go back to rejuvenate. I'm not sure. I need to get a vine for it, like a vine holder. And I'm trying to hold this steady. You see how green and vibrant it is. But anyway, I moved it over here to where it's under more of a more blue and white than the really high. It all makes a difference. And it had too high of a wattage for it. See, I'm running into the same problem with my lettuce. So I'm going to need a very low watt bulb, kind of like a shop light, like a fluorescent light, maybe 40 watts, and no red, no blue. It's all a learning curve. I'll get there in a second, but hang on. This is a bit of a juggling act for me, but my can is finally starting to look like it's doing better. Again, with the lighting, I'm sorry, but I might try to put some peppers in here of some form, since this doesn't get too much pink light. That might be in a future video, and of course I'll cut all that off. It seems to have lost its mite problem, and it seems to be happy where it is. Now we have the hosta, which I have to check out and see if whether or not it has a life cycle, whether it's indoors or out, because it's been treated and everything, and it just keeps dying off. So I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on that and see. And this is my Thanksgiving cactus, and I'm not too sure what to think. I don't know what's going on with it. I might have had it in too much bloom, not too sure. But right now it had a little bit of a fungus, I noticed. So it's soaking because it's a clay pot. And I'm not going to cut this off because it still has life. I'm just going to see what happens with it. It looks green and nice inside. So it's kind of in a hospital area. But that's the whole thing, is trying to find the exact balance for each plant. And that's why I just keep looking stuff up all of the time. So I tried putting it under direct blue and red with no white. And oh, that just made matters worse. It was under the high intensity bloom light. And that's what happened with it here. So it might go into my hospital area, which I'm about to show you, my low ambient lighting. Well, I'm actually creating a 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4th or 5th grow room. So there'll be spring, summer, winter, fall, and probably lettuce. Hang on. And my Kermit, I think he's going into hibernation. I keep him still wet, and I just got some more distilled water for him. But you know, if you look, he has a little bit of new growth coming on, but I have to find out again. I made reference to it on my video I had done on these. There is a cycle they go through where they have to go through a dormancy period as well. But until now, he's done very well. That, or he just ran out of bugs to eat. Okay, I call this my hospital area because they're plants that I just don't quite know, or they're not working where they're at, so I brought them over here. And this one here, my ivy, he seems very, very happy. And all he's running on, can you see him with the light from the window? Let me see, is that better? There. He's got a little bit of new growth on him. He actually kind of looks yellow, but I'll give him a little bit more one shot. But he seems to be happy here, and what he lives off of is basically these stick lights. Where are they? They're not on right now, so you can see. But I have 2 sets of these stick lights, and that's what keeps these ones going. And I can change them from blue, but I usually leave them on full spectrum. Now these I got, and I couldn't figure out what on earth was wrong with them. I got them so long ago with my friend, until I soaked them in hydrogen peroxide water. And woohoo! They might be in the wrong soil, not too sure. But they had a lot of fungus. So they seem to be doing much better, and they seem to be happy here. Now, my palm, as you can see, looks like it's getting burnt. So it's actually too much light for it. It dries out a lot, and it is under the heater vent. So we're just going to move it over a tad. I just keep moving stuff over a tad, so it's a little farther away from everything else. and see how it does there and cut some of the burnt off for it. Now here's my parsley. Can you see that? Do you see this? That's because it didn't need as much bright light as it was having. And it was over there, under the brighter light where I have Mark and where I used to have my cactus and stuff like that over there. It was just too bright of a light, my Monstera. So I'm bringing it over here and seeing if it'll get enough light here. If not, I'll move it down a little bit further. Maybe plant it in with my canna, I'm not too sure. But this here just tells me that it's just gotten too much light. It's a balance. It's a weird balance. All plants are different. It's not like vitamins, where you could take a vitamin and then take what you want and discard what you don't. You know, not all of them are water soluble anyway. But plants don't work like that. And when you, like if you use a red light and you're not supposed to, that's what happened with my peppers. It just morphs them. It's like an alien being came down and morphodided it. It doesn't look like anything that you would eat. Now for some reason, he is so happy here. He's never been overly happy. But that's my air fern. It's like it's an orchid. It's in the orchid family. So he's happy with him. I hope he wasn't happy with the light, because the light has to change. And then I had to, I had put these over here. Can you see with the light in the window? Let me see. These are my fire sticks. Von Miller and Peyton Manning. Broncos fan. Anyway, they seem to be trying to put on some color. They should turn bright orange. And again, these get watered inside. They're bromeliads. So you water them inside the cup. And then you make sure you keep it moist once in a while there. But I put some peroxide in there as well, just to give it a little bit of a boost. So they seem to be happy and healthy. I moved my Christmas cactus over here because it wasn't doing really well either. Let me give you a better picture than that, if I can. I'm in between so many lights all the time. Anyway, it looks a lot happier and healthier here. So it might be healthy and happy with this low ambient lighting, with the stick lighting. So right now that's my little ambulance area. And there's one more spider plant I got from my daughter-in-law that's all green, but it had a problem. So I rooted it better, because I don't think I had it rooted better in the soil right. So I'll show you him in a minute, because he's trying to recover. I know. The things I'll use are about stuff in place. But I'm trying to keep the roots in place. That's why I have this here. And the forkful is hanging around. But this is a green spider plant I got from my daughter-in-law. Haven't named him yet. But he's been having a little bit of struggle. So I've been treating him with the peroxide. And like I said, I don't think I had him rooted right to where he had a good grip. He didn't have a really good root system on him. He's getting it though. And remember a little experiment? Well, some of them turned out. Some of the smaller ones I had, well, they just didn't root. But I've noticed that, let's see, can I see? Because some of them have. I just was not smart enough to bring my glasses with me. Can you see anything? Anyway, they'll get there. I was seeing roots, but I didn't bring my glasses. I don't know if you can you see those roots beginning there? So all you have to really do is lay them on top of the soil. And let's see, do these get any roots at all? I can't really tell. Looks like it, maybe. So we shall see. Believe it or not, these ones will root pretty well. So I'm happy. pleased. And this one still has a little bit of a flower on it. Oh, I stuck it on there because I had to cut it off the plant. I thought, what the heck? Let's see if it'll grow. So that so far is my succulent and cactus. You remember when I redid that? And still trying to keep him braced in place because he's got to develop a pretty good stalk. And here, this is my mother's fuchsia. And if you remember, the poor thing was half dead. Half dead was not even the beginning of it. But look at that. I don't know if they call this one the ballerina or not, but it's just one of my favorite ones. And I so much want to move it to center it because I have that personality. And because it should be in the middle. But I just kind of moved it over here a little bit. And Mother, please forgive me for what I'm about to do, but this is what I always did to your plants when I was a little girl. This is why I like them so much. Listen. Please forgive me. It just opens them up. I just like to go along and pop them. My mother always had them. Anyway, I'm very happy for her. And hopefully by Mother's Day, if I get the nerve to put it in the middle, then hopefully she'll have a really nice basket, or I'll put something around the sides. And then here, Jiminy Christmas, you know, I noticed that my aloe vera was having problems again. So I went ahead with my peroxide bath and it had a fungus. So I moved it closer to the light. I didn't think it was getting enough of what it needed. So I moved it closer. And here I wanted to give you a better shot. My daughter-in-law, where'd it go? My daughter-in-law told me the name of this, but I still forget what it is. But it's some kind of little dinosaur. It is actually called some kind of like dinosaur plant. But anyway, it's doing really well. It's rooted in. So you can see that it's starting to green up again. It's starting to get new growth. And boy, it's getting a little prickly, I'll tell you. But see, there's new growth coming on. So, you know, hopefully it'll do well. All right, well, hang on. Now, this little one tickles me to death. I'm not sure what this is. I will look it up again. But yes, it's so easily rootable. I have some of my cactus and succulent. You never know, I may make one out of that. And it just keeps flowering. And if you look closely, can you see? That's what all those little things are, is little flowers waiting to come up and bloom. So I find this to be fun. My mom has another one someone gave her too. But we have twins. So I like that. It's a very beautiful color. And we have Mark. I actually went to see him one more time. And, well, we didn't talk about the plant of his. No, we didn't. But Mark's doing rather well. I had to make sure that I staked him in a little bit better here. Can you see? Let me get you a better look with one of my stakes I use for training my other plants, because I need him to root better than he was. I thought I had some more blooms on here, but I took off the dead ones. So we'll see how he's doing. And you can see, yes, here we go with the onions again. Here we go with the onions again. So we got that one. That one I just put in. That one was the old one that gave me ones from before. I'm hoping it'll do it again. Who knows? It just might. And then I thought, what the heck? Let's try a red one. So that's the fun. And my jungle flower vine I moved over here. It's not a jungle flower vine. Remember I told you it's some kind of tropical cactus of some form? Let me get you a better view. He was hit so hard with the mites that I didn't think he was going to make it. But he's some kind of jungle cactus. So, rerooted a few pieces of him, But as you can see, look how healthy and green he's looking. And he's getting new shoots. But I was concerned. I was just concerned about a few little burn issues I was noticing. And I thought, well, he was under the bloom light. Well, the higher light. So I decided to put him over with the more ambient light that I had and see how he does. But he looks to be a pretty happy little fella to me. Did I ever name him? I should name him Ed, but that's kind of boring, so not sure. My chives are so hard to see, but they like being under the more intense light, which isn't on right now because, well, it's out. But it's doing much better, but I took it a little bit farther away from where the light is, where, see, can you see it? Okay. It's just a little bit too close, I think, where it was. It was right underneath it. So I put it under here, but it might go under my more ambient light as well. And, well, I had a few pieces that fell out of my tomato plant. And I just thought I'd try to root them, and, well, they're getting little roots on them. I have a lot of family and stuff, and, well, who knows how many tomato plants I want to grow. So, we have 2 more to look at here, and I think we're done. Oh, and we have my Herbert. He has made me laugh from the moment he was given to me. And he's still leaning, but we're repotting him. Amazon, I got my pots. So we're repotting him, and we're going to repot the next plant I'm going to show you, because he's outgrown this pot. They say when you put something in a pot, don't make the pot bigger around the circumference of the top of your plant, because it can get lost in there. Don't really understand the whole concept, but I follow the practice and it seems to be working for me well. So we're going to repot him, and I will do that on a video. Hold on. Just a quick side note. That big light I have in my bloom room took the place of this light and this light. They both hook together. They can. And they have, you know, the bloom cycle, you know, and the veg cycle. And they worked out well. They worked out really well. I'm going to expand. Hold on. And they took the place of these lights, which was this one and this one. They were both a little different, but basically the same kind of thing. I just kind of angled them funny, and I was wondering where my hammers were for the longest time, but it's because I angled them just right and then got a hammer stuck on the side so they could get me side coverage really well. Expanding. Hold on. I'd say this is embarrassing, but this is what it took. So I also had this one in there, which is another, this one does have lemon veg, I'm pretty sure. But it served its purpose. It's, okay, and I probably have about 4 or 5 of these that I use for side as well. But these were only blue and red. So you had an intense purple and another one that I kind of angled to the side so I could get better side coverage. And this one here is just this little grow light. So this one might serve me well though, because I'm opening up my office and I'm gonna make it a room for well, lettuce just doesn't need that hard of light, and neither does the peppers and stuff. So I may put a few things in there. But let me show you the very end of what I have to do, and then I will be done. And my Stella plant, but it told me it doesn't want to be called Stella anymore. It wants to be called Griselle. Its name is Griselle, and yes, that really is a name. So we have to repot her too. I think my grandson was 6. No, was it 6? Anyway, when I got it, it was as tall as him, and it has done quite well in here. I wanted to thank every one of you. If I didn't have every one of you know, I would have never been monetized. And I'm sorry I didn't share that with you. I obviously, well, I just haven't just been in the spirits for it. And I didn't mean that it wasn't something I wasn't eternally grateful for. Oh, the light's getting to you there, huh? Anyway, I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I really love it. Let me see if I can get to the very top. This is a corn silk plant. I really appreciate the ones of you that come in that actually garden, because it really helps me out. Oh yeah. And I had a onion that went bad, and I'm probably going to have to peel all the nasty stuff off to get to the middle part so I can plant him too. But you know what? I'm determined. I'm just determined. And I think that's all I really had to say, other than I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas. I know that I will. And each and every one of you helped me get where I am right now. And I will never forget that. So out of 50,000 people I've met, well, I ended up with 1,000 and whatever it is today, it changes. The best of the best. So, while I tell you to have a very Merry Christmas, believe me, I will be as well. I'll speak with you later. Bye.